Hello, dear friend. Welcome to English Legacy. We are here to help you on your English learning journey. Today's topic is Genghis Khan. Some people think of Genghis Khan as a monster, others as a genius. In some countries, streets are named after him. In others, just hearing his name brings fear. But everyone agrees on one thing: there was never anyone like him. He started life as a child in the middle of the steppes, with nothing. No throne, no army, no powerful family. Only the will to survive. When he died, he was the ruler of the greatest land empire in history. He had united a territory stretching from the Pacific coast to the gates of Eastern Europe under one flag. This is the story of that child. In the 12th century, Mongolia was an extremely harsh place. Endless plains, freezing winters, burning summers. People here did not live in settled places. They were nomads. Tents were set up, animals were fed, and when the season changed, everything was packed and moved somewhere else. There was no fixed home, no fixed law, no fixed order. There were only tribes. And all the tribes were constantly at war with each other. Stealing someone's horse or taking someone's woman was seen as a show of strength. Cycles of revenge were passed down from generation to generation, and no one even remembered where the cycle began. Every man had to be strong. Growing up in a world like this was hard. You needed to be strong. You needed to think fast. And most importantly, you needed to know who you could trust, because even the person closest to you could betray you one day. Genghis Khan was born into a world like this, and those conditions shaped his character. Around the year 1162, a child was born on the banks of the Onon River. His name was Temujin. His father Yasuge was the leader of a small Mongol tribe. He was a strong warrior, a man respected by those around him. But on the steppe, power was never permanent. When Temujin was just 9 years old, his father took him on a long journey to ask for a girl from a distant tribe. When they arrived, there was a girl named Borte. The two families made an agreement. Temujin would stay with his future wife's tribe, and they would marry a few years later. This was the custom of those lands. His father left him there and turned back, but he never made it home. On the road he came across the Tatars. The Tatars were old enemies of Yasuge, and they did not miss their chance. They offered him poisoned food. Yasuge died a few days later. Temujin was left without a father at the age of 9. This was not just a loss, it was also a collapse. Because on the steppe, the death of a man could mean the death of his entire family. His mother Hoelun was left alone with 5 children. The tribe abandoned them. Because a family with no man to protect them was a burden to everyone else, no one wanted to look after them. Hoelun fed her children with berries, roots, and fish from the river. They waited in their tent through the freezing cold of winter, and in summer they ate whatever they could find on the steppe. Temujin learned the hardest lesson of life during those years. People abandoned the weak. If you did not want to be left alone, you had to be strong. But there were also dangers from within. His older brother Bektar began hiding food and taking the shares of the younger children. As the days passed, things got worse. Temujin could not stand it. One morning, he killed his brother. This was a turning point for him. He was no longer an ordinary child. A hardness had settled inside him, a hardness that could do anything to survive. In the years ahead, that hardness would be both his greatest strength and his darkest side. Not long after, Temujin was taken prisoner. A rival tribe captured him and put a heavy wooden collar around his neck, using him as a slave, but he managed to escape. This escape also taught him something. No wall was permanent, no chain lasted forever, as long as you did not lose hope. As Temujin grew, a small group began to form around him. He married Borte. But their marriage was shaken right from the start. The Merkit tribe raided their camp and took Borte away. On the steppe, this was not unusual, but for Temujin it was. He took action to get his wife back. He went to an old friend named Togrul and a young warrior named Jamuka. The three of them joined forces and attacked the Merkits. Borte was rescued. But this operation taught Temujin something much greater. Strong alliances won wars. From that day on, Temujin began drawing people to his side. In doing so, he broke the usual rules of the steppe. In those days, everything won in a tribe belonged to the leader. Warriors had to depend on their leader's decision to receive their share. Temujin changed this. He shared everything. Those who showed courage in battle were rewarded. He even took capable men from former enemies into his ranks. It was not bloodline that mattered, but loyalty and merit. This was a revolutionary idea for that time. People liked this system. First dozens came, then hundreds, then thousands. His old friend Jamuka watched this growth with jealousy. The tension between the two grew for years. The Mongol steppe pulled them to two opposite sides. A group formed around each of them, and eventually a great reckoning became unavoidable. Temujin defeated Jamuka. He took his old friend prisoner. He asked that Jamuka be killed without shedding blood, because on the steppe, spilling the blood of a great warrior on the ground was seen as an insult to him. He was given an end befitting a warrior. At this point, Temujin was no longer just strong. He was also a strategic and wise leader. At the beginning of the 13th century, the great Mongol assembly gathered. All the tribal leaders came together on the banks of the Onan River. Tents were set up, fires were lit, and long discussions were held. And that day the course of history changed. Temujin was declared the great Khan of all Mongol tribes. His name was no longer Temujin. He was now Genghis Khan. The ruler of the universe. This title was not just symbolic. Along with this title, Genghis Khan built an entirely new order. A warrior was no longer the soldier of his own tribe, but directly the soldier of Genghis Khan. He created units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000 men. Each unit had a commander, and those commanders were chosen based on their performance. Rank was not bought, it was earned. This system made the Mongol army incredibly flexible and fast. Alongside this, new laws were established. Theft was forbidden. Forcing yourself on women was forbidden. Harming envoys was forbidden. These rules were applied equally to everyone, whether an ordinary warrior or a commander. Nothing like this had ever been seen on the steppe before. People were both surprised and reassured by it. This trust laid the foundation of Genghis Khan's empire. People now had great respect for him. Genghis Khan understood one thing very well. Fear was sometimes the most powerful weapon. Winning without fighting was better than winning through battle. So messengers would go ahead. The enemy would be told, "Surrender, and we will not harm you." Many cities accepted this offer, but for those who did not, there was no mercy. In the east, a powerful enemy was waiting, the Jin dynasty. This dynasty, which ruled over northern China, had thick walls, deep ditches, and a large army behind it. But Genghis Khan was patient. Advancing year by year, he took strategic positions one by one. The Mongol cavalry was the fastest fighting force the world had seen at that time. They could travel hundreds of kilometers in a single day. They would pretend to retreat, draw the enemy into open ground, then turn back and surround them. Even while shooting arrows on horseback, they were precise. The Jin dynasty slowly collapsed and much of northern China fell into Mongol hands. When Genghis Khan turned his eyes to the west, the Khwarezmian Empire stood there. It was one of the most powerful states in the Islamic world at the time. Cities like Samarkand, Bukhara, and Urgench were among the richest and most cultured centers in the world. With their enormous mosques, libraries, bazaars, scholars, poets, and merchants, these cities represented the peak of civilization. The Khwarezmian Shah saw himself as one of the most powerful rulers in the world. Genghis Khan first wanted to trade and sent a caravan, but the Khwarezmian governor burned the caravan and had the merchants killed. Genghis Khan sent envoys asking for an explanation. The Shah cut off the envoy's beard and sent him back. War was now unavoidable. Genghis Khan entered Khwarezmian territory with a massive army. The enemy's cities were taken one by one. In every city the same scene. Those who surrendered lived, and nothing was left of those who resisted. The Shah abandoned everything and fled. Mongol cavalry chased him, driving him from one land to the next. He finally took refuge on a small island in the Caspian Sea. There, alone and defeated, he died. The great civilizations of Central Asia had come under Mongol control within just a few years. Genghis Khan now ruled lands stretching from China in the east to Iran in the west, from Siberia in the north to Afghanistan in the south. No one in history had taken control of such a vast geography in such a short time, and Genghis Khan had no intention of stopping. His generals crossed the Caucasus and launched raids all the way into the Russian principalities. Georgia fell. Russian forces were dealt a devastating defeat. The Mongol horsemen were burning and destroying everything in their path. In the year 1227, Genghis Khan launched another campaign to the north. This campaign was his answer to a betrayal from the past. He was old now, but rest never crossed his mind. During the campaign, he fell ill. No one knows exactly what happened. Some sources say he fell from his horse during a hunt and was injured. Others speak of a different illness. But the result was the same. Genghis Khan died while on campaign. He was around 65 years old. His last wish was for his grave to remain secret. The news of his death was kept hidden for as long as possible, and the campaign even continued for a while. According to legend, those who carried his body killed everyone who knew the route. To this day, no one knows where his grave is. For centuries, many researchers have searched for the answer to this question. But Genghis Khan kept his final secret forever. After Genghis Khan's death, the empire was divided. It was split among his 4 great sons and grandchildren. Kublai Khan conquered China and founded the Yuan dynasty. Hulagu Khan ruled Iran and Iraq. The Golden Horde kept Russia under its control for roughly 2.5 centuries. So the structure Genghis Khan built did not end with his death. It lived on through his descendants in all 4 corners of the world. So how did this empire change the world? First of all, the Silk Road became truly safe for the first time. Merchants were able to travel along this long road from China to Europe more freely than ever before. The Mongols ensured security along the roads they passed through, and trade flourished. People from different cultures came together, ideas flowed, and discoveries spread. Marco Polo's ability to travel to China and return was made possible in large part by these safe roads. Paper money, gunpowder, and the printing press also reached Europe from Asia through the Mongol trade networks. The military legacy is enormous as well. Mongol battle tactics were studied, copied, and developed for centuries. Cavalry mobility, psychological warfare, logistical discipline, and the use of intelligence had never been applied so systematically by any army before the Mongols. Many commanders, including Napoleon, studied the Mongol campaigns. The cultural legacy cannot be overlooked either. In Mongolia, Genghis Khan is still a national hero today. The main airport in the capital Ulaanbaatar bears his name. Statues of him stand across the country. His face appears on banknotes. For the Mongols, he is not just a historical figure. He is the very heart of their national identity. In Russia, Iran, China, and Central Asian countries, the view of Genghis Khan is far more complicated. There are places where he is seen as a symbol of destruction, but he is also accepted as an unstoppable force that changed the course of history. Dear friends, what is the view of Genghis Khan like in your country? You can share your thoughts in the comments. Today's story ends here. See you in the next video.